Do you want to get your kids to eat Brussels sprouts, right? That's usually not a kid's favorite vegetable. But I'm telling you, the whole flavor of a Brussels sprout changes when you roast it versus when you say, like, just steam it. It gets a little bit on the bitter side when you steam it, but roasting it kind of brings out more of a sweetness or a savory flavor with it. So I'm gonna put this video together and show you how I roast the Brussels sprouts at my house, and my kids actually love it, myself included. I was never a fan of Brussels sprouts as a kid either, and I've grown to absolutely love this one. So stay tuned and see how simple this can be. Okay, so we are in the middle of making roasted Brussels sprouts, super easy. I have cut up already a batch of them, and I'm going to add another bag full of roasted Brussels sprouts. You just buy them fresh at your grocery store. Here's the ones that I bought. They were only $4 for 24 ounces, so it's a pretty good deal. And all I do is cut off the little stem, and if there's any kind of brown leaf, I just pull it off. They come in layers, and then I usually like slice them in half, or a couple of these I'll show you were a lot bigger, a lot longer, so I cut them into quarters. So we're just going to go ahead and slice the stem off. These ones are a little bit smaller except for that one. Try to get them close to the same size so that they cook evenly. And that's the first step, super easy. Okay, so I finished cutting up all the Brussels sprouts. As you can see here, whoa, I've got a ton of them in here. We just dropped one. Oh well, that one got lost. So just plain cut up Brussels sprouts here. All I'm going to do is drizzle olive oil and put a little ground pepper and garlic powder, not garlic salt, garlic powder on there. I love garlic on Brussels sprouts. And then I will put a little bit of salt. I just have Himalayan salt is great. This is actually sea salt. We'll put a little bit of that on there. So this is where it gets a little messy because I put in the olive oil. Coconut oil is good too. So I'm putting kind of generous because I have like 48 ounces of Brussels sprouts here. So less the stems. So we're just going to toss that and make sure we get oil so they don't burn. Okay, and then, here's my towels down here. And then I'm just sprinkling a little bit. I'm pretty easy on the salt. You really don't need a lot of it. The garlic actually to me is the bigger part of the flavor. So I'm probably a little heavy-handed on garlic, but I love it, and it's actually pretty good for you. So I'm going to go ahead and layer in some garlic powder. And then I just like ground pepper on pretty much anything I cook. I constantly have this thing going. So that is super easy. I have the oven preheated to 375, and I'm going to roast them for probably a good 15 minutes. And then I'm going to add balsamic vinegar, and I'm going to rinse off a bunch of these grape tomatoes and toss them in with, maybe, if I need to, I'll taste a couple, maybe put a little bit more garlic on there. I like the tomatoes right next to the Brussels sprouts. They get blistered and roasted the last, call it 5 to maybe 10 minutes while these guys finish up, and it gives it a good contrast. So that will be the next step. Bye. Okay, the timer just went off. I'm going to bring the video here so you can see. So that was 15 minutes, and they're starting to get brown. They're starting to get tender. So I am going to prop you up right here. Sorry. And I don't know if you'll be able to see me, but I'm going to go ahead and add, I rinsed all of my grape tomatoes, and I'm just going to toss them in there. Boom. They're just going right into the pan. And then just kind of mix them up a little bit here, so that they're all next to all the different Brussels sprouts. And then right here in the pan, I'm going to drizzle just a little bit more olive oil. Sorry, you can probably hear my kids screaming in the background. I'm going to shut the door. They're actually making a video for school. They have to do a trailer for a book report that they're reading in English class, so it looks like they're getting a little bit silly down there. I better make sure they're actually doing homework. And again, like I said before, I love my garlic, so I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some of that in with the balsamic vinegar, tomatoes and Brussels sprouts. Super easy. Again, the oven is still at 375. I'm just going to pop that back in, and it's only going to take 5 to 10 more minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on for 5, and then give it a check, and maybe do another 5 if I need to. Thanks. Okay, I'm back. It's all done. I'm going to go ahead and switch this around. Actually, I can't. So there it is, the finished product. So the Brussels sprouts get tender. As you can see, the tomatoes, I mean, they're bursting. The skins are bursting off, so they're just perfect. And they're tender and they're brown. So I'm going to go ahead and divvy those up into like 1-cup containers with a couple of 2-cup containers, and we'll just have those for dinners. I'll toss them on salads. We'll have them for snacks like for a few days between all 4 of us. So this is just a great example of easy meal prep. You can multitask, so because it's in the oven for 15-minute and then 10-minute and 5-minute increments, you can be doing other stuff while cleaning up or whatever. But I'm here to make meal prep easy for you and to make healthy food delicious, okay? It doesn't have to be the, I don't know, the thing you don't want to eat, right? It doesn't have to be the enemy. And I hope that your kids enjoy it and you benefit from this. So stay tuned to more cooking tips from Team 121. Bye.